Welcome to High Oracle's Reiki Spiritual Healing Channel. And before we get into our topic for the day, then I wanted to just first say that I've been having a pretty decent week. You know, my assistant, he informed me of some things. I got some calls from, an aunt, a family member, and the first thing is they took down my account. They banned my account from TikTok. And so, this is what I wanted to say to you, because this is the third time this has happened. And that's fine. I'm not, upset about it. Because, with those new policies or whatever, to use people's likeness against their will, okay? Doing things to people that they don't want done to them, okay? Let's get that straight, and understanding that I have to approach things in a whole different way. That's the first thing that you need to know, because first things, if the Holy Book say certain words, and we try to avoid those words, but if there's no other way to put it, if you're in alignment with certain religions, if certain people are looking at your channel, getting cleansing ideas, using the channel to cleanse the negative energy, of course they're going to shut me down. If you're telling the truth to people, of course they're going to shut me down. So this is the third time, and so we have to approach it differently. When they're upset with you because they can't use your face and your likeness, because you cover your face, then of course they're going to shut you down. So I wanted to give you this, not to be in despair, because you have to start over. Don't be in despair. Just, suck it up and keep it moving. Now that's where I am with it, okay? So now let's get into our topic for today. We have the full moon cleanse that's coming up May the 1st. This is a flower full moon cleanse. We also have a 2 moon cleanse during the month of May. For our first full moon cleanse, it is going to be, I'm going to publicize it like I usually do. For the second full moon cleanse, May the 31st, only subscribers will be able to reach out to me at a discounted price in order to receive that full moon cleanse. So go ahead and book your sessions with me. Go ahead and send your donations. I don't care, if it's $1. And obviously, if you send $1, I will send, my blessings to you. But you have to be able to receive this full moon cleanse. We don't want to get something for nothing, okay? So this is where we are with our full moon cleanse, and the May 31st full moon cleanse would be the blue full moon, or a micro full moon cleanse. And you can look up the different times, will vary from these 2 full moon cleanses, and we thank God under all conditions that we have 2 chances to be able to cleanse negative energy. Okay, again, this is when these warlocks and witches like to send negative energy to you during the night. And this is why you want to make sure that you're cleansing any kind of negative energy from your person, from your life, from your mind, from your health. And since we have been doing a very good job, then I have adopted, the saying to my clients and the saying to my followers, that we are the spell breakers. So, make sure that when you have been helped by some of the information, by a video, make sure that you put in the comment section that we broke that spell. This is what we do over here. We're breaking spells. Okay, so we have the understanding that this full moon cleanse is going to, go even a deep soul cleanse. It is going to, we're giving the gratitude to God for giving us the clarity, for having the understanding of how to cleanse our bodies, our minds, our souls of negative energy, of sins that we may have committed, because no one is perfect, okay? So you want to be able to cleanse yourself with these spiritual healing methods. You want to be able to cleanse yourself when you are using these types of cleanses. Then you want to be able to meditate. This is a three-part type of cleanse that we're going to do. We're going to be able to meditate to remove any kind of negative energy off of us that may have been sent to us, that, from the past, present, or future, that we will encounter, to pull that negative energy off wherever it has come from. The colonizers, people in our lives, people with titles in our lives, relationships, business dealings, where people are sending out negative energy or has sent negative energy towards you or your family members. We're cleansing that negative energy, okay? And we're asking God to forgive us for any negative things that we may have done, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to give you, let me get my tablet. The first thing that I'm going to give you is the Rose of Jericho tea. You can use this as a tea bath. You can use this as an incense. Okay? And you want to be able to use this to remove any kind of negative energy, to restore you. This is the Rose of Jericho is the restoration plant flower. This is a flower full moon cleanse for May the 1st. You can get this either on my Amazon account. You can get this either in the oil. You can get this in an incense. Or you can use the Rose of Jericho water for a spiritual bath. So you want to be able to use this during this time in order to cleanse. So what I'm going to use the Rose of Jericho oil. I'm going to use it, on my incense, in my diffusers. I'm going to drink some as a tea so that it has the benefits of healing. Okay? And this will help some of you whom we have been talking about in those premonitions, who are suffering from certain types of illnesses, sicknesses in the body, where you have been attacked. That negative energy has to go back. Okay, and next we're going to use, because this is going to be very versatile for you, to cleanse those sins that we may have incurred, that we have done, that we have sinned against our own self. Okay, you want to be able to use the hyssop. You want to be able to meditate. You can also use this either, I prefer this as a bath, but you can use this as an incense as well. Okay? So you can, it can be interchangeable for you. That's how come I'm using the oil. I'm using the oils. I'm using a hyssop bath. Okay? You want the herbs if you're going to use the bath. You want to be able to pray over it with the 51 chapter of Psalms. And you want to be able to read the holy books. You want to be able to meditate. That's the third part of this. To be able to meditate, to lift all of that, dark matter, that evil eye that's been sent to your health, your mind, your finances. Those of you who are struggling with mental health. Those of you who are struggling, with generational curses, blood curses from your administration, you ladies out there who are dealing with those types of issues, who are seeing those cycles with your parents, okay? The people who are dealing with sicknesses in their health, they don't know where it's coming from, okay? So you want to be able to reach out to me if you want a cleanse. You want high oracles cleanse during the full moon cleanse. You want direction. You want instruction how you should use this. But this should be sufficient for you to remove anything from the past, because we're being in gratitude that God has showed us our enemies in our lives, in society. We've had to, suffer some losses. And definitely if we've suffered some losses, it has been, losses greatly on their end, the evil ones. It has caused a lot of them to be unalive because of the negative energy that they've sent out. Okay? And God has restrained their hands because, definitely they've been wanting us to shut up. They've been wanting us to go back to sleep. They want us, to make sure that they are in control of our gifts, that we're, scrambling, trying to, find work. And, we're in an uproar. We're anxious, trying to, appease them. And it's not happening for them. It's not working for them this time. Okay. So we're minding our own business. And we're cleansing this negative energy. And whoever sent it out, whoever is in alignment with the entity, it has to go back to them, especially those parents who were not in our lives because they were a part and wanted to be a part of the entity, and they wanted to be against us. Okay, they wanted to be against the parent that was in our lives, that stayed. Okay. They wanted to be in alignment. They wanted to be held up in status, esteem, the glory with the entity. And we are simply cleansing those negative enemies out of our lives, because that's what they are. Okay, so this is what's going on, that we're giving God the praise, the glory, the gratitude that we are able to see these negative enemies in our lives, identify them, cleanse them. And we ask God, to give us a better understanding, to give us the benefits of our gifts, to give us, an elevation in our gifts, in our finances, in our health, to remove any kind of blockages. So these are the types of prayers that you want to be able to pray. These are the types of things you want to be able to ask God for, for any kind of removing of cross conditions, in your matter, whatever you may be facing, any kind of attacks you may be facing, so that that negative energy is shielded from you, and it ultimately goes back to the persons who have orchestrated it. And I hope that you received this message. So please, you can reach out to me in the description on my channel. Book your one-on-one life coaching sessions. Like, share, and subscribe. And before we get out of here, I just wanted to let you know, for those of you who are members and followers, you'll receive a discount when you reach out to me for our second full moon cleanse for May. Okay, so that you can get the benefits of that. Okay, thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Donate to High Oracle in my description. Leave a comment for me. I'm High Oracle, Reiki spiritual healer. Assalamu alaikum.